All right, guys. So here recently, I have dove headfirst into 3D printing. So while I was 3D printing random things, I got the idea. How cool would it be if you could 3D print tools? So that way, if you need a tool and you don't have it, you can just 3D print it. And then let's say you have another tool, you break it, big deal. Just 3D print another one. How cool would that be? So I have downloaded and created a wide variety of different tools that I 3D printed. This video, just FYI, I probably have about 500 hours of my life invested into this video. This video has cost me more time than any other video I've ever made. Hopefully it's worth it, and hopefully these things work. So I'm just gonna give you a sneak peek of some of the things I have. I 3D printed a giant wood clamp, screwdriver handle. This thing's actually gonna be really cool. I custom 3D modeled my own socket set. I downloaded this file for this dead blow hammer that has replaceable ends. How cool is that? I made my own giant hammer that took like 35 hours to print and used an entire roll of filament. I also bought a 3D scanner, and I 3D scanned this hammer, just the head of it, and then I 3D printed it on my own handle, so that way I could test this out to see if I can pull out nails with the 3D printed hammer. Really hope that works. And then I even 3D printed an entire jack stand, and we're gonna see if it can hold up my truck. Hopefully that works. So let's get started. All right, first, let's just try to put in some basic screws with our little 3D printed screwdriver handle. This thing just takes regular bits. It is a little bit tight, which is probably a good thing. But this thing also, it's actually pretty cool. It holds 3 other bits. So if this thing's actually any good, I could see this being really useful for somebody, especially with its little compact size. So let's just see if we can screw in just a plain screw. I tell you, it feels sturdy. Oh yeah. This is gonna work like a dream. Look at that. Let's see how tight we can go. I mean, we're sinking it into the wood. Wow, you can really sink it into the wood. Oh. I mean, look at that. That's in there. I know you probably can't see it, but the tip doesn't seem to be getting misshapen or anything. I should also say, for those of you that do 3D printing, all of these things have been printed at 100% infill, so everything should be as strong as it could be. Let's see if we can get it out. Yeah, no problem. Okay. I guess I need to find some bigger screws. I honestly wasn't sure if he was even gonna do that. Let's try this. I also wanna give this thing a shot because this little thing is so cool, but I don't think it's gonna be very strong. It's a completely 3D printed ratcheting screwdriver. So it has a little, little knob right here like a regular ratchet, and then it has the little teeth, and it ratchets, and it works beautiful. I just don't think it's gonna be able to handle much like pressure, but it works great. It's actually working. All of this screw, I just put it in there, so I'm surprised it's holding up to the torque, honestly. Let's try to put a fresh screw in there. Oh, okay. That's one of the downsides. Is this print, it works, but it's not modeled the best. So it kind of falls apart sometimes. Really got to squeeze it together sometimes. Okay, and then there's also that. We're just gonna ignore that. Maybe it's maybe it's broken. Maybe it already broke. Okay, maybe it's not as good as I thought. It's cool though. You have to admit, it's cool. Okay, so this one's kind of junk. All right, let's try something like this. It's a little bigger. It's got a little bit more coarse threads. Wow, this is working just fine. I mean, I feel like I can almost put as much torque on this as you would ever need to with a screwdriver. I will admit the small handle is kind of a limiting factor here. And my hand's getting sweaty. I mean, look at that. How perfect is that? Beautiful. So, I would say this is a win. If I had to rate this out of 10, I would give this like a 10 out of 10. Especially for being 3D printed. So if you do end up in a situation where you strip it out, print another one. Big whoop. And then it holds your bits. I feel like this thing could probably do 95% of everything that you would use something of this size for. So that's a win. All right, guys. So this video is sponsored by Helix. Now, I've talked to you guys about Helix many times. I have now had my Helix mattress for well over a year, and I have nothing but good things to say. I get some of the best night's sleep I've ever had in my life on this mattress. It's so comfortable. So I'm sure you're wondering, how can you get a Helix mattress? Lucky for you, it's extremely easy. You just go to the website, you take a sleep quiz. They ask you a bunch of basic questions like your age, height, weight, sleeping position, all that stuff, and then they spit out a recommendation. I got the Helix Midnight, which was the perfect recommendation. It fits my sleeping style perfectly. And then after that, the best thing happens, which is you don't have to go to the store and get it. It gets shipped straight to your door. You just unbox it, roll it out, you're done. So it's super easy to get set up. Now, I'm sure that some of you are now saying to yourselves, I want to get that good Helix quality sleep, but I don't want to have to pay for an entire new mattress. Well, Helix has got you covered because Helix has just released their new mattress toppers. This one is a premium memory foam. Look at that squish. This thing is amazingly comfortable. You lay on it and you just melt away like you're sleeping on a cloud. So if you want to get that good Helix quality sleep, but you don't want to buy an entirely new mattress, a good quality mattress topper like this could be a good option. So if you're looking to upgrade your sleep with either an entire new mattress or just a mattress topper, you're in luck because Helix is doing their spring savings event where you can get 20% off site-wide through the entire month of April. So if you're interested, you can go to helixsleep.com/TylerTube, get your 20% off, and of course, all of the links and everything you need will be in the description. Next, we're going to test my 3D printed sockets. And I did a small, a medium, and a large. This is 7/16. This one is 17 millimeter because Home Depot didn't have any amount of anything. And then I think this one is 3/4, something like that. And then I'm going to be using a digital torque wrench. I have it set to 20 foot-pounds because I don't know if we're going to reach that or not. And then this should tell me how much torque we're able to apply before it slips or breaks or whatever. That one fits a little bit loose. I have a couple. Let me see if I can have another one. Yeah, we'll go with this one. This one's a lot tighter. All right. I'm guessing like maybe 10 foot-pounds before it slips. All right, we're just taking up the slack. All right, we're at 2. .8. Oh, I feel like we're actually getting some good torque. .2. No way it's going to stop at 420. 4.20. It did. Oh, no. It's going up a little more. I don't know if it's spinning or if it's just... I don't know if it's stripping. No, it's still spinning the head. Okay. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. Oh, it just stripped, I think. Yeah. 6.2 foot-pounds. Not great, but yeah, it just rounded out. Not great, but I mean, it's plastic, so maybe for some light duty stuff or something. Maybe get you out of a pinch. I'm not terribly disappointed with that. Now, I would assume bigger bolt, bigger torque. Oh, 1.9. I think we're still taking up the slack. .4. Come on, you gotta beat the small one. Oh, now we're getting somewhere, I think. 5.3. We're getting somewhere now. 7. I think it's just smashing the wood. Oh. 8. Oh, here we go. Okay, now we're gonna get somewhere. 12, 13. Oh, no! I can see it cracking. No. No. It's like destroyed now. I forgot to look. I think we got like 14 maybe. I have another one of these. Let's put that on a fresh one. All right, let's see if we can get a little more out of it. Ooh, I don't think so. Oh, it breaks instantly. 16.2. Yeah, same thing. That's not that bad, because let's see, 17 millimeter, that's like average oil drain plug size. But I think an average oil drain plug torque is probably 18 to 20. So you could almost do an oil change with this socket. Makes me wonder if I printed it thicker, if it would have done more. But the inside kind of gave away too, so I'm not sure. But that's still pretty impressive, especially for something that's plastic, and this thing probably cost, I don't know, maybe $1 or something to print. So that's not bad. Now, the big boy. I think I'm gonna have to up my torque limit for this. Let's go 40. There's no way it goes past 40, right? All right, let's see. Oh, we're already at 10, 15, 13, 20. I feel like it's starting to deform. 22, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 35. Oh, no way. What? The 3/8 end stripped out. Oh, now I can't get it off. So 35.9. Yeah, look at that. The 3/8 end completely just rounded out. I did not expect that to be the failure point. I thought this would be the failure point. So that kind of sucks. I don't have one of these printed in a 1/2 inch drive. But I do have another socket in a 1/2 inch drive. So we will be able to test that theory out if which one's gonna fail first, this one or this end. We'll have to do that test later. I'm kind of impressed with the sockets, to be honest, especially for something that's plastic. I mean, especially this. I mean, I know it's giant, but 42 foot-pounds. You could do something with that. Okay, now I even made 3D printed wrenches, open end and box end. And we're gonna see if either one of these can apply more torque than the sockets. So we'll start with the open end. I have almost no faith in these. So if we can move it more, then I guess that means that we can apply more torque than the socket. So this one I think it'll be on the screen, but I think 38 foot-pounds or something. Let's see. Holy crap. That launched out of there so hard. That was actually kind of crazy. I feel like I should be wearing safety glasses. I expected it to break, but I did not expect it to launch like a rocket. Okay, so that's not gonna do it. Let's try box end. Oh, this one actually might. Man, I should have planned this out better. Well, I can move the wrench on the bottom, but I don't think that's not gonna be the same. It's not moving, but it's also not breaking. Why did I not make this longer? That sucks. I think I'm gonna have to reprint this, I think. So we're gonna have to continue this video tomorrow. I'll go ahead and try the other ones. Probably the same thing. Maybe it's gonna launch off. No, it's just gonna slide right around. Okay, that's about what I expected. Why are you not going on there? Okay, yeah. I'm gonna have to reprint these, probably twice as long or something. We'll continue this whenever these prints are done. 5 hours later, I have my new wrenches. Printed them twice as long. Now hopefully this will work. Ah, there we go. Perfect fit. Now let's see if we can move this. Oh, wow. We're getting a lot of movement on that. This is so much stronger than I thought. I bet this is probably close to 50, 60 pounds. I'm so impressed right now. I would have never guessed. I can't even get it anymore. Hold on, let me flip this wrench around on the bottom. Maybe that'll give me a little bit better grip. I think that's all I got. If I can get a little bit better angle, maybe. That's all I got. I don't know how tight that is. That's impressive. I can see the corners of it starting to kind of like divot. So I feel like I'm probably 90% of the way there to the max before it's gonna strip out. I might have to do another video, like just testing the true limits of this. Because if you got a bolt this big and you don't have a wrench that'll fit it, but you have a 3D printer and some time, I think you could definitely do whatever you need to do with a 3D printed wrench of this size at least. Let's go on to the small one. All right, let's see what we can do here. Oh yeah, way more. All right, I guess we found the limit pretty quickly. So it did move. So whatever the original torque of this one was, we got it just a little bit more, maybe like 5 foot-pounds more or something before it snapped. So that's kind of sad. I expected the plastic to like just, you know, strip out, not snap. I assumed the small one's gonna snap then, but I guess we'll see. All right. Oh, we got like a quarter turn out of it more. You can hear the wood cracking. I think it's gonna strip out. I feel it trying to like raise itself off. This is significantly more torque than the socket, which doesn't really make that much sense because technically it's the same thing, it's just in wrench form. You know, they're both 100% infill. Still going. This is crazy, like we're deforming the wood. Oh, now we rolled. We stripped out. Let's try the other side. A fresh bite. Oh, we got more. You know what? I think part of the problem is whenever I have to wiggle it to take it off, it kind of starts deforming the plastic. Okay, I have one more of these. I want to see if I can get a little bit more out of that. All right, fresh wrench. See if we can get maybe like another half turn or something out of it. No. That's the limit. All right, so that's pretty impressive. So I think my final conclusion on 3D printed wrenches, I think it's kind of 50-50. If you got something that's not, doesn't require a lot of torque, less than 30 foot-pounds, and of course you have the space for such a big wrench and you have the time to print it, I think you could get away with it. It does a lot better than I expected. I thought maybe like 5 foot-pounds, and then it would just like break off or strip out. But it holds way more than that. So I'm impressed with that. All right, now for the hammer test. Definitely need some safety glasses for this one. I think there's a high chance there will be plastic flying everywhere. First, we're gonna start off with this one, the one that I 3D printed off of this one. And I just wanna see if it can pull out some nails. So I got just a regular standard nail here. I'm gonna use this one to drive it in because I don't know that that one can do it without breaking. That's pretty good. Let's see if we can pull it out. Ooh, that did pretty good. We're already better than I expected. Let's really drive it in there. Pulled it right out. What about these little side pulleys? Oh, it broke. It was doing good though. Okay. So we can pull those out. Let's see about pulling this out. I think 0% chance that we pull this out. It's gonna snap. I don't want to be in the way of the shrapnel. Okay. I had a feeling that was gonna happen. Well, that's junk. I have a second one though. So, if you got little nails, you can pull them out. Let's see if you can drive them in with this. Hey, look at that. You can drive them in. This one didn't come out as good as the other one. Okay, I guess we can't pull it out with that. That broke off again. So that would be a problem with 3D printing your tools, is there's inconsistencies between the prints sometimes. Like this one, I don't know what happened to it. Maybe if we kind of just, tap it on there. Can we drive one of these? Was it just me, or did that sound like some type of musical tune? It was like changing pitch as I was hitting it. Okay. What about this? I mean, the face of it's getting kind of beat up. I'm so impressed. You see how big that is? Like, of course, you got to hit it really hard, but it's not breaking. I didn't think we would get here. Okay, I mean, that's doing it. It's gonna take a while because it doesn't have any weight. Let's switch to another one. I did this one. Let's see if this one's got a little bit more weight to it. Yeah, look at that. That's so crazy. I want to try just a regular one of these with this. Because I think this combination could probably be pretty viable. That's not bad at all. Like, especially like if you got one of these. That was almost just as easy as this one. Think about if you I don't know. Maybe if you were like a roofer or something maybe, and you didn't want to have to carry a big hammer. I think roofing nails are smaller than these anyway. This is probably 1/4 the weight of that, and it can do the exact same job. 3 hits, right in there. This could actually be a viable replacement for a hammer. This is doing way better than I expected, and it's so tough. Okay, well, I just lost half my hammerhead, but it's still usable. Interesting. Very interesting. Next, let's try this. This is our dead blow hammer with the TPU filament ends that are kind of rubberized, that are replaceable. I just want to just whack some stuff. Maybe I'll just whack the hammerheads or the nail heads. Okay, well that kind of sucks. Might have to glue those on or something if you're actually going to use this. But this seems like a very usable dead blow hammer. Okay, well, it was very usable. I printed this very early on in my 3D printer journey, and I printed it this way. So all of the layer lines are running this way, so that is the weakest point. That is, why it snapped. This one, I printed this way, so all the layer lines run this way, so that's why I'm able to just beat the crap out of this thing so hard without it breaking. If I printed this one the same way, I probably could just beat it all day long, and it probably would have been fine. I think one day I might have to reprint this sideways, because this is a very, very cool thing. All right, our last two. Both of these are the biggest ones I made, and both of these I made the exact same mistake as I did with the dead blow hammer. I printed them this way, so this is the way the layer lines go. So there's probably a good chance it's gonna snap off at the head, but these things took I think like 30 hours each to print, so I don't have time to reprint them. So let's just start from the beginning. Let's go work our way up through the nails. These are also, this one I believe is printed in PETG, and this one is printed in PLA. So PETG is supposed to be more impact resistant. All right, let's just start off with a small one. Easy. Could easily use that as a hammer. Easy. Wow, the front of that is getting beat up a lot more than I thought. I can hear little bits of plastic flying around the room. It doesn't help that my hand is getting so sweaty. That works perfect. Now, I don't know if we're going to get anywhere with this. In fact, I'm going to start it with this one. This is tough even for this hammer. The ultimate test. Okay. It's kind of what I expected. That kind of sucks. All right, let's see if PETG does any better. Come on, man. So that kind of sucks. Imagine if I would have printed those big ones in this orientation. I feel like you could just beat on this thing all day long and it probably would have been fine. So that's so impressive. I'm honestly blown away. Obviously, the ones that were the giant ones, those things are heavy. Those are heavier than even this. So that wouldn't be very economical. But something like this, of this size, this is totally doable. Just like I said. I mean, especially with little nails, you can just drive them right in. As far as like, are 3D printed hammers usable? I think this is totally usable. So again, I'm impressed with how durable these are. After doing those previous tests, I don't think that this is gonna work, but we're gonna give it a shot. I 3D printed a socket to fit my lug nuts. And I wanna see if you could potentially change a tire with a 3D printed socket. I have my doubts. Oh, it's a little tight. That actually might work in our favor. All right, let's see. Ooh. Okay. That's not really what I expected. So the whole thing just shattered. Interesting. I really thought that if a piece of it was going to shatter, it would be this part because it's thinner. So that's very interesting. I have another one. I'm sure the same thing is going to happen. Oh yeah, I can see it. Ugh, same thing. Wow. All right, same result. That kind of sucks. Now the part that I'm really excited for, the 3D printed jack stand. Now I'm going to do this in two different parts, possibly, if the first part doesn't fail. So the first way I'm going to test it is I'm just going to put the jack all the way down and test it this way. So that way all of the weight is on the frame and the edges of this piece, because I think it's going to be the strongest that way, instead of it just being on the little teeth and then the pin inside. Because the pin on the inside I think is going to be the weakest link. So this should give us our greatest chance for success, and then if this works, then I'll raise it up and put it on the pin. All right, here we go. Here's the situation. I'm gonna try to lift this down. Super, super easy and slow. Okay, we're going down real slow. Real slow. It's holding. It is absolutely holding the weight. Now, the tire's not up in the air or anything, but it's holding it. I think I need to get a couple more pieces of wood. And then, oh wow. And then it might actually, we might be able to hold the tire up in the air. Oh, I don't really like that. Oh, that's as high as my jack goes. All right, I really believe that something really bad's about to happen. Oh, let's go ahead and let her down real easy. Come on, just real easy. Oh, okay, that was all at once. But look at that, it's holding it. That is crazy, that is holding the weight of the entire truck. That's insane. I honestly don't know what to say. I'm gonna step up on the footstep, see what happens. Nothing. I'm blown away right now. All right, let's move on to step 2. All right, now there's definitely gonna be some bad stuff happen here. Yeah, this is gonna break away in 2 seconds. Guaranteed. See if we can go easy. All right, we're going easy. Slowly. Slowly. Oh, oh. Wow. Okay. It's still, I mean, that's even still under a bunch of tension, so it just broke. Probably the pin probably got sheared off. So after looking at it, I can't get it apart anymore. I don't know how well, I don't know if you'll ever be able to see up in there, but you can kind of see way up in there the pin that's attached to this handle just kind of bent down and then smashed together with the teeth on this. So I can't get this apart, and then this handle is just spinning inside of the pin. So I can't, I can't get them apart anymore. So that worked about how I expected. Although I am very impressed that at least in the most downward position, it can hold a significant amount of weight. So that was very impressive to me. All right, the final test. You guys have seen this contraption that I've made up before. I got my wood clamp here. And we're just gonna tighten this up. Not going the way I intended. Okay. That's pretty tight. Yeah, look at that. All right. Okay. Let's see how much pressure we can put on this thing and if the clamp can hold it. Oh, I already heard it crack. I can see that it wants to snap like right here. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that's about what I expected. It didn't hold that much. And I did print this piece in the correct orientation to hold a lot of weight. But, with that kind of leverage, anything is just going to snap. But I will say that I think under normal circumstances, like if you were just maybe holding a board, trying to hold it still to drill a hole in it or something, I think this will work fine. Now, if you're going to do something like that and you're going to put a bunch of torque on it, it is going to break. So, kind of, better than I expected, but not perfect. That does it for 3D printed tools. I think a lot of them worked a lot better than I expected. So, I'm curious to hear what you have to say. Leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.